This is episode 5 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. And guys, this is the big one. The Bengals and Browns looked pretty bad last week, but somebody has to win this week. Like we can't both lose. One of these fan bases is not going to be all pissed off next week. One of them is, though, most likely. Throughout these two teams' history, the Bengals lead the all-time series 51-43, but the Browns have won 4 of the last 5, so they're starting to catch up here. Who's going to win the 95th Battle of Ohio? That's what me and Thomas are here to talk about this week.
Oh, you can't forget, the Steelers still suck. They may beat us, but they still suck. Also Carson Wentz, you trash.
Carson
Wentz, you trash. That's all I got.
You are right. You are right. The Steelers still suck, and we definitely need to address that every episode. I keep forgetting because they have been depressingly good this season, and I keep forgetting. But anyway, what do you
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
Today, I'm drinking my good luck beer. That's right. I got to go back to the Bud Light Orange because we need this win this week. Come on, Browns. I need y'all. So I'm drinking the beer that gave me the most luck, and that is Bud Light Orange. It's the beer that got me through the pandemic. Just saying.
Well,
like
I said a couple minutes ago before we started, it seems to me like Bud Light would be bad luck for you guys because when I associate Bud Light with the Browns, I think 0-16. So, that's mainly what I think about, and especially this week when you know who got you to 0-16 was a former Bengal guy. So Bengals Browns week Bud Light seems like a bad omen for you guys to me. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to start to finally figure out what my lucky beer is because we haven't really been doing since we've been doing the podcast. The Bengals haven't won a game, so today I'm drinking. Yeah, you're right. It is New Belgium Fat Tire. It's an amber ale. Personally, amber's my favorite kind. It's just the right mix. It's kind of hoppy, kind of nutty. It's got a really good flavor to it that it's smooth, but it's not like like with the. By the way, I was wrong. Yesterday, Guinness is a stout, not a porter. But either way, I think it's syrupy, and that's what I like about these is they're full, but they're not really like thick. So I'm drinking a Fat Tire today.
Awesome, New Belgium Fat Tire.
Yeah,
good beer.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Maybe one day they'll sponsor us. Looking at you, Fat Tire. All right, so let's get into this game. Bengals Browns, the Battle of Ohio. That's the whole reason this podcast exists. So, tell me what you think, Thomas. What are some keys for the Browns to win this week? What do the Browns have to do to get another result like they did last time when the Browns beat the Bengals 35-30 a couple weeks ago?
I think it's just confidence. The Browns got to get their confidence back. I think one thing that we're going to see, the key to the games and the key to this game and the key to the last game is going to be the Browns defense. Can Myles Garrett get early penetration on the Bengals offensive line? Now, I'm not sure I'm not sure the defense is going to be able to adjust Joe Burrow the second time around better than the first time around, or is Joe Burrow going to have the edge in the defense? He's going to be adjust better against our defense because Joe Burrow did look better at the end of that game than the beginning of that game. So what we're going to need early penetration from Myles Garrett. For me, it's all about our defense. I think our offense is going to put up about 30 points, but it's about our defense to preventing you guys' offense from putting up 30 points because our defense can easily give up 30 points, and if our defense don't perform well, then we will lose that game. I know everybody want to blame Baker Mayfield, but one thing you guys got to remember, it was our defense that let the Bengals back in the game during week 2. It was our defense that let the Dallas Cowboys back in the game. And it was our defense that let the coach back in the game. So what comes down to this game isn't all offense, guys. Believe it or not, it's not number 6. It's all about Myles Garrett. Can Myles Garrett get early penetration to get in Joe Burrow's head and make the rookie quarterback make mistakes? If that doesn't happen, then it might be a long week for y'all Cleveland Browns.
Not to mention, last time we played, y'all dropped 35 on us. So it's I agree. I definitely don't think that out of the 2 units, I think we dropped 30, so that was a high scoring game last time. That would lead me to believe that in both cases the defensive units were the big problem. But I gotta agree. The trenches when the Bengals are on offense is going to be a big part of this game. Now the Bengals offensive line has been horrible this year. Philadelphia, we gave up like 8 sacks. Joe Burrow's just been getting hit after hit after hit after hit. Although the last time we played the Browns, Bobby Hart looked kind of silly. Myles Garrett had a pretty decent game, but Joe Burrow only got sacked 3 times. And Joe Burrow throughout the games has been looking better and better every time. So he's starting to get the ball out a little bit faster. He's starting to make quicker decisions. And there have been a couple of mistakes that have gone along with it, but we expect that out of a rookie quarterback. But the thing is, if Joe Burrow and the offensive line can play off of each other a little bit better this week, then I think from an offensive perspective, we could have another 30-plus point game like we had last time. It's really just going to depend on the defense holding things down, which they've kind of been up and down, kind of inconsistent with. For me, I think the biggest thing is going to be the Bengals got to contain Kareem Hunt, because y'all don't have Nick Chubb, and I know who's that other running back you have? He's who?
Dearness Johnson.
Dearness Johnson, yeah. He's not a complete scrub. He's somebody we definitely got to try to pay attention to. But Kareem Hunt is the main objective here. And if we can contain Kareem Hunt, then we can force Baker Mayfield, hopefully, into getting in his own head, which has, I'm a Baker Mayfield believer, even as a Bengals fan. But I do think that that's one thing that he's kind of had a problem with over the course of his whole career is getting in his own head. And, he's got a better coach now, so better coaching should be able to help him get out of it. But it hasn't it hasn't translated every single week. The past 2 weeks alone, he's been sacked 5 times and has thrown 4 interceptions. And if we can just get a slice of that pie, then, the Bengals are going to have an opportunity, I think, here to really make him do something that's going to give us a huge advantage.
Well, the Browns are missing one of their best offensive linemen, Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller is hurt, and they needed him badly last game. They also don't have Drew Forbes. So they're missing 2 offensive linemen. JC Treader is questionable, but he should be good. So it's very important that Wyatt Teller plays and able to play at a great level. The Browns last week, we had a lot of injuries too. We didn't have Rodney Harrison. He is out with a concussion. We didn't have Jacob Phillips. Those are 2 really important pieces for our defense. Matt Wilson, he only played 1 or 2 games since he came back from injury. So he's still trying to get back. He's still trying to get back into game shape. And Jarvis Landry had very severe bruised ribs. I'm not sure they said they were broken or not. I'm pretty sure they said that they were bruised. But he's probably to play. But Jarvis Landry is not 100%. So this Browns team is very banged up right now. And so it's about for us. This game is going to be a very mentally tough game for the Browns right now. They got to be very mentally tough. And for them, I think that they're a better team than the Bengals, but they can lose to the Bengals. They can lose to the Bengals easily. The Bengals can easily steal this game. So what the Browns have to do this game, they have to stay focused. Like, it's all about how well are they to stay focused. You said Baker Mayfield gets in his own head. I'm going to take that one step forward. Baker Mayfield thinks too much. I think he gets out there and he just thinks too much. There was some great interviews on 92.3 The Fan where they broke down that interception. And it was just they said that it was almost basic, something that Baker Mayfield should have known not to throw there. He should have went to Odell Beckham. Now that's one throw. I'm not gonna kill Baker over one throw, but the fact of the matter is this: Baker Mayfield, you're in the third year. You have to start looking like a third-year quarterback. You have to take that next step. You have to. It's only been 6 games, and I do not think that you could evaluate a young team after 6 games because that's not a finished product. But one thing about the Browns that they have to do, they have to stay focused, they have to stay mentally tough, and they cannot get in their own head. And if they beat themselves, then Joe Burrow is going to take advantage of that. Because Joe Burrow, he ain't going to get in his own head. That kid is from Athens, Ohio. He ain't going to get in his own head. He's like a shark. As soon as he see blood, he's coming after us. So we have to make sure that we do not let Joe Burrow get confidence against us. Because if he does, it's over.
It's not just Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe, you're right. Joe Burrow is, he's a shark, man. He like you said, when he smells blood, he goes after it. And if I've ever trusted a Bengals quarterback in my life, which, other than 2 particular guys, it's not exactly a very high bar. But if I've ever trusted a Bengals quarterback in my life to really, galvanize everybody around him and, and really go in for the kill when he's got the opportunity, it's Joe Burrow. And I know we haven't really seen it. That was the problem, last week against the Colts is, we didn't go get the kill, but I mean, Joe Burrow's in his, this is going to be week 7 of his rookie season. It's going to take a little bit of time to develop, but you can see he's got that killer instinct. You saw it week 1 in that, what was supposed to be the game-winning drive against the Chargers. And then, AJ Green with his pass interference that was questionable. And then Randy Bullock being Randy Bullock. And then we just, we didn't end up winning a game that we were really on pace and ready to win. But Joe Burrow's keeping this team that, like you said, is not that talented of a team. I mean, there's talent, but, a lot of it's young talent that just hasn't developed yet. And a team like the Browns is, genuinely more talented than the Bengals. You guys really just on paper should win this game, and a lot of teams should be beating us. But we're in every single one of these games because we've got guys like Joe Burrow. Because, in my opinion, I think Zach Taylor is doing a really good job of coaching this team to a point where we're actually in all these games. We wouldn't be in these games with, a lesser head coach who isn't able to galvanize the players around him like this. And so that's why my last point, my last key to this game for the Bengals is going to be keeping the drama on the peripheral. We've had a lot of drama going around in at least on Bengals Twitter, on Bengals social media. A lot of fans are freaking out because Zach Taylor's losing the team. He's losing the locker room. He's a terrible head coach. We should go ahead and fire him right now. And fans are going to be fans, and you just got to deal with it sometimes. But it's getting pretty toxic in the Bengals fan base, and honestly, that's not going to get fixed until we start winning. Just because the fans overreact. That's what they do.
Yeah, trust me, man. Trust me, they do.
Oh yeah. Well, we were talking about fans on the last episode, and how just in general, both Bengals fans and Browns fans just need to calm down. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. But like I said, keeping the drama on the peripheral. Guys like Carlos Dunlap, Darius Phillips, Sean Williams, they've been kind of distracting lately. And fans have been reacting to it. Carlos Dunlap has been, he's been kind of non-committal with his drama, but at the same time, he's visibly frustrated, and he's definitely doing a couple of things that's weird. And I think Zach doesn't particularly appreciate it. That's part of why, that and the fact that he wasn't really playing well is kind of part of why I think Dunlap isn't playing as much lately. But you gotta isolate these cases. Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd, Zach Taylor have all come out since then and said, "Hey guys, the locker room culture's fine. We're all bought into Zach Taylor. Anything that's going on with like all this drama about people who don't like the coach, people who don't like the system, it's isolated to a couple of cases. You had John Ross demand a trade, and to me, that's fine. John Ross ain't really doing a whole lot. You got Carlos Dunlap frustrated. You know what? He should be frustrated because, he should be frustrated about the fact that he lost his starting spot, but he should be frustrated before that because he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't producing anything out on the field when he was playing. There's reports that Geno Atkins is frustrated. But honestly, man, I think Dave Lapham said on the Bengals Booth podcast the other day that there's a good chance that Geno Atkins is, dealing with, major shoulder problems right now. And, when you're a defensive tackle and you've got to use all your strength and your shoulder's a big part of what you do, it's really hard to be super effective all the time. And part of the reason Geno might not be playing is because the Bengals coaching staff might not feel that he's as effective as he can be with the shoulder issues that he's having. And yeah, if I was Geno Atkins, I'd be frustrated by that too. But you know what Geno's not doing? Unlike Carlos, Geno isn't going out and making a big deal about it. Geno isn't going public with it. I think Ben Baby is the one, either that or Tyler Dragon, one of the two. I think it was Ben Baby who mentioned that Geno Atkins is one of the players who's frustrated with their role. But we haven't heard anything from Geno about it. Geno's keeping that to himself. He's being professional about it. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, win and the confidence comes back. Not just with the fans, but with the players. They don't have to answer all these questions like, oh, is the locker room culture a problem? Oh, the players, has the locker room given up on Zach Taylor? People don't ask those kind of questions when we're winning. They ask those questions all the time when we're losing. So, I know this is going to be a big, important game for both Browns fans and Bengals fans, or the Browns and the Bengals, because if the Browns don't win this game, then suddenly they're 4-3, and it's, there's going to be all this talk about the Browns are obviously a mirage, and they aren't nearly as good as they kind of looked for a couple of weeks there, and this is just the same old typical Browns being the same old typical Browns. But if the Bengals don't win, then it's a whole nother week of questions about is this coaching staff any good? Should we just fire the whole thing? And it's just this constant toxic environment that's just permeating and just constantly recycling itself with the Bengals fan base. And if we don't start winning, it's just going to keep continuing, and it's going to get rough.
It's a rebuild, man. Somebody who's been a Browns fan for 20 years and just watched a 20-year rebuild. These are all just common frustrations of a rebuild, and that's so hard to say. That's so hard to come to the realization as a fan base that your team is in a rebuild. I got news for you, Browns fans. Technically, we're still in a rebuild too, because we're not winning a Super Bowl this year, and not yet. And this year, basically, the rest of this year is a Baker Mayfield tryout. The rest of this year is trying to figure out how good is Baker Mayfield. We gotta let him play out this year. We gotta let him play out the rest of these games, see if he gets 10-6, and we can make the playoff legitimately. And that's the same thing with Bengals fans. You guys gotta put realistic goals for your team. You gotta put realistic stepping stones, because if you guys panic and y'all panic too much and y'all blow up something, y'all might blow up a good thing. I don't think Zach Taylor is a bad coach. I don't think Zach Taylor is a bad coach at all. I think Zach Taylor was put in a hard situation. He got brought into a team that had a head coach that was coaching the team for the last 20 years. So it's only fair that we give Zach Taylor his proper chance. And also, I don't think the Bengals are going to fire Zach Taylor anytime soon, because the Bengals are a smart organization. They're not going to fire. Yeah, I just think that y'all just got to be patient with Zach Taylor, man. He's a young coach. He's still learning how to win, basically. And also, he doesn't have a lot of talent. He don't have a lot of established talent, because they do have talent on that team. In fact, as I look at the stats, when I look at the top receivers, top running back, and top quarterback for the Bengals, their stats are actually better than the Browns stats. So y'all have a lot of offensive potential on that team. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins are all potential superstars, great players, and that's your core. And they're so hungry, they're so young, but they're still learning, man. They're still learning. And so you can't really blame Zach Taylor for trying to be a teacher, because we're basically just watching a development. So just be patient, Bengals fans. Just be patient.
Well,
everybody
I will say, it's one thing, and I know. First of all, I completely, I'm not going to sit here and say that as a Browns fan, you don't know something about rebuilding because, the thing about Bengals fans is Bengals fans really haven't witnessed a rebuild like this since Marvin Lewis came to town. Because we kind of had a little mini rebuild there when Carson Palmer asked for a trade, and then we brought on Andy Dalton, AJ Green, and guys like Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap really kind of started coming into their own. But it was really more of a transition than it was a rebuild. So Bengals fans are not used to rebuilding. It just hasn't happened in a long time. But this rebuild has been kind of more or less happening since 2016. We lost that playoff game against the Steelers, and it really just kind of feels like the Bengals front office hit the reset button right then and there. Which I don't know if they really should have at the time, but at the same time, I think they kind of set that up for themselves with the contract situation because we had so many key free agents in the 2015-2016 offseason. We had, just to name a few, we had, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, I believe Andrew Whitworth, Kevin Zeitler. We had a lot of guys, a lot of really big key pieces who were, their contracts were up and had to be renegotiated, and we were going to lose some guys. And we made some bad decisions. We let Andrew Whitworth go. We let the offensive line fall apart. I was listening to Orange is the New Black podcast with Zim Hude and Ace Boogie, and they mentioned that I can't remember one of the two. I think it was Zim mentioned that somebody he knows was talking to Marvin Lewis, and Marvin Lewis just kind of finds this whole thing comical because Marvin Lewis was trying to tell the Bengals front office for years, hey, you got to fix this offensive line. We got roster problems here, here, and here. What are you doing? And the Bengals are going out and drafting John Ross, and look what happened there.
Let me say this though. I want to say this about this game about Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield. So yeah. I am on Baker Mayfield's island. I am the last Baker Mayfield fan left. Like, where are you, Baker Mayfield fans? There's a lot of Baker Mayfield haters.
I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, and I'm a Bengals fan.
I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. Look, Baker. I'm about to be real with you. I think Baker, you're due for a bounce back game. And one thing Baker does a good job of, he does a great job of bouncing back. He does a great job of bouncing back.
But it's not going to happen this week. Y'all are going down.
I know it's going to happen.
No.
Well, now here's the thing, though. I remember. Here's how I feel about this game. I was watching. I remember Game 5 of the NBA Finals, 2016. The Cavs were down 3-1, right? And LeBron and Kyrie were pissed, and they were getting smoked by the media. And I remember. Before the game, before warm-ups, LeBron and Kyrie was coming out the tunnel. And I remember that look that both of them had on their faces. I remember that look. And they stood next to each other. And they were coming out that tunnel with the most ambitious look I have ever seen in my life. That game, both of them dropped 41 points. At the end of the Steelers game, Baker gets benched. Odell Beckham's on the sideline with his shoes on. Both of them are standing next to each other with that same exact look that LeBron and Kyrie have. Now, Baker, if you're the competitor that I think you are, Baker, then you should be able to shit anybody. If anybody's a competitor, if you lose your starting job, if that don't light a fire up under your ass, bro, if losing your starting job in the fourth quarter to Case Keenum don't light a fire up under your ass, then I don't know what will. You got pulled from the game, Baker. You got pulled from the game. The fact of the matter is, y'all were losing so much that you got pulled from the game. You got pulled from the game, Baker Mayfield. You got pulled from the game, and you let Case Keenum come in and finish the game for you. Let that sink in. Do you want that to happen again? Do you want to be a free agent quarterback? Do you want to be another quarterback on that list? You better win this weekend. He knows he better win this weekend. And look, if you can't win this weekend, then you're not our quarterback.
Hey, Thomas.
That's how I
feel. Do you remember when me and you were in college together, and we went to I believe the Crystal Bar to watch the Bengals and Browns play? You might not, because we were both plastered out.
We walked in the Crystal, but we walked out.
What? No.
I think it was in Crystal for I'm pretty sure with the pigskin, because I ate all them olives. We went to Red Brick and went to pigskin.
It might have been pigskin. I swear I thought it was Crystal. Point being, you and me were. Point being, you and me watched Bengals Browns. I want to say in 2015. I don't remember what year it was now, but it was when it might have been 2016. It was when Johnny Manziel was your quarterback, and the Bengals just went the hell off on him. You had I remember the money sign of him because he was playing so poorly. You had doing the belly thing. We Bengals fans need another game like that. Now, I like Baker Mayfield. I hated Johnny Manziel. I thought he was a douche. So I loved seeing Johnny Manziel get made a fool like that. But you know what? As much as I like Baker Mayfield, he's on the Browns and he's got to be sacrificed. And we need this win, and it ain't happening. Our defense is slowly getting better. The only thing is, I'm not so sure about our pass rush. That's my biggest thing. I think if Carl Lawson can get going, I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a rough day. At least as far as pressure goes. I'm still not entirely sure how to feel about our defense yet. But man, do we need it. Man, do we need it. We need the Bengals to absolutely go off on this Browns team, because the fan base here is I mean, man, we've already won a game and a half way faster than we did last year. It looks like we're already having a better year than we did last year, but people are still freaking out over here. We need this game. And I'm not saying y'all don't need this game too, but I'm going to, sit over here and I'm going to rep my team.
Yeah, I feel it. You should. This is, it's a rivalry. This is what it is. It's sports. I like Burrow and everything. And, I like all the Bengals fans who are watching this show. But you know what? Look, y'all, I need this win, dude. Y'all don't know what it's like to be me. Y'all don't know what it's like to be me.
You know what?
Fan.
You know what?
Y'all don't know.
You mentioned you like the Bengals fans who watch this show. Well, I'll tell you what. You Browns fans who watch this show, I love you guys. I love you so much. If you watch this show, I don't care if you're a Steelers fan and you watch this show. I love the fact that you're watching this show. Pick a better team, but I love.
I don't understand what it's like to be me as a Cleveland fan.
But at the same time,
stop all of that. Do you know how to
next week? We need this one.
Let me tell you how hard it is to be a Cleveland fan, right? We get the best player, one of the best basketball players to ever play the game, right? One of the best basketball players to ever play the game, right? Put together this awesome team, right? And then, like any other year in NBA history, any other 4-year stretch in NBA history, the Cavs would have won 2, 3, possibly even 4 championships. Any other stretch in NBA history. You know what happens? The greatest team ever assembled happens the same time that we get the best player in the NBA. Ain't that some shit?
Are you talking about the Boston Celtics?
No, I'm talking about the Warriors.
Okay. You're talking about when LeBron came back. Okay. You know what?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Warriors.
Y'all got a championship. Where's my championship?
Got one championship.
We got none in my lifetime. The Reds won in 1990, and I was born in 1992.
We got one championship in 50 years, bro. Well, I guess Cincinnati, you know.
At least you got one in your lifetime. We don't even get a basketball team. We had a basketball team, and then they moved to Kansas City, and then that team moved to Sacramento.
At least your football team made the playoffs in the last 5 years.
Well, yeah, and then proceeded to have one of the unluckiest playoff result streaks in modern memory. And people, honestly, at this point, just because of how badly we performed when we got to the playoffs, people kind of forget sometimes that we even got.
Dang, yeah. No, Jarvis Landry just confirmed that he had broken ribs. That's why I wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure. Like, this dude legit playing with broken ribs. Like,
so what's his status?
What?
What's his status then?
No, he's gonna play.
He's gonna play. Okay. Yeah, because I know a lot of people will play with broken ribs, but I know some people won't. So I just wanted to ask. But anyway, we've spent a little bit too long on this. But hey, it's the Battle of Ohio, and we're gonna take some time to talk our trash. But anyway, let's get to our. Let's start predicting games here.
Okay.
This is a little fun segment that we added in the that we added last week, and we're just going to keep this going. At some point, if anybody wants to be on this show, hit us up, and we'll have you on for the prediction segment. And you can make your predictions right alongside us, and if you beat us, maybe we'll come up with some sort of prize for you. I don't know. This is episode 5, so we're still episode 6, so we're still kind of trying to figure out how this whole thing works.
All right, you know what? Let's start with the game that's going on right now. Fuck it. What if the I know this podcast is gonna come out after this game is over.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Give me the Giants comeback in this game.
Wow.
I think the Giants will come back in this game. I'm calling on Giants comeback. I'm calling on Giant comeback. What quarter are we in right now?
Looks like Daniel Jones just ran 80 yards for a touchdown. Am I reading that?
Oh, wait, hold up. Oh, look at that. I did not see that. I swear to God. I did not see that. Because last time I checked, they were losing.
The Giants are winning.
By the way,
actually,
you know that Daniel Jones leads? He leads the Giants in rushing.
Wow.
Daniel Jones.
Because he got an 8-yard run. And Saquon Barkley's hurt.
Before this game.
Oh.
How do you let a quarterback, how do you let White Mike lead you in rushing?
Oh my God. Dude, this whole division, everything is just an example of pure and utter trash. You know what though?
Trash.
Before I saw what just happened, I was actually about to agree with you because it was 10-7 Giants. And I was Giants were going to come back and win this game. So I'll go ahead and put us both down for the Giants on this game. Real quick, I just learned I can do this. I can share the screen, and I'm actually going to do this, and you can see I'm using this website called Playoff Predictors. It's by this guy named Ray Lenhoff, and
awesome.
Basically have you ever used the ESPN playoff machine, Thomas, just to try to see like what scenarios could happen to make the playoffs?
Oh yeah, sometimes. Yeah, trust me, I did it last year when I was like, the Browns can make the playoffs if this.
Yeah, if this and this happens, right? But this is basically you can do it throughout the entire year, and the guy does it for free. He's not sponsoring me or anything. I just, I really appreciate his work, and I don't have any money to donate to it. So this is my thank you for putting out such a great product here. So we're gonna go. So Thomas, you said you're picking the Giants to win this game, and as we can currently see, it is still the third quarter, so this prediction still sort of counts. And also the Giants were losing when we thought the Giants were losing when we both made this prediction. So if the Giants win, I'm going to count this one as legitimate. I'm not going to show my screen because I've actually already made my predictions, and I want to wait not to spoil anything. So, yeah. So we got that. Stop share. Okay, so then let's move on to the next game. We got the Bills and the Jets. Who do you think is going to win that game?
Bills and the Jets. Give me the Bills, obviously. Jets are trash.
Yeah, I don't think this one's difficult at all. We are
Yeah, they
both
need to win.
picking the Bills to win this game because we're not complete morons. So here you can see that Bills are the team to pick here. All right, so we got the let's save AFC North games till later. The Ravens are on bye this week, by the way. So we will not be predicting a game for them. So the Chiefs and the Broncos. I mean, I think this one's pretty obvious, just like the Bills and Jets.
Yeah, Chiefs, move on. Don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it, man. I don't even think. Don't even like overthink of it. If you are an idiot who think that you're gonna bet on, if you want to put money down on the Broncos, hey, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna put $100 down. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put a penny on the Broncos. You know that homeless dude that you walk past the street and was asking you for money? He was like, nope, it's in my moral. Give him that dollar before you bet on the Broncos. Don't waste money like that.
Exactly.
Don't waste money on the Broncos, dude.
You got a 95% better chance of that guy you're giving money to doing something good with it than you do of the Broncos beating the Chiefs. It's just not going to happen.
I have a better chance.
And I'm sorry to one of my favorite YouTubers, Brandon Perna, who's a big Broncos fan. Y'all about to get smashed this week. And, then again, I thought you were going to get smashed by the Patriots. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm probably not. So give me the Chiefs this week easily. So next we got Jaguars and Chargers. What do you think, Tommy?
Shoot, you go first.
Okay, well, so my thought process on this is, first of all, the Jaguars keep burning me. So as much as I like Gardner Minshew, as much as I like, some of the, I think the Jaguars are a little bit better than people think they are. But at the end of the day, the Jaguars have just been, proving me wrong after proving me wrong after proving me wrong. Every week so far, I've been picking them, and they're not winning. So, and then you got the Chargers. I was a big Justin Herbert doubter going into the draft. He's been playing well. I think he's going to come back down to earth at some point, because that was his whole thing at Oregon, is he has these, he has like a big game here and there. But, for the most part, he's really inconsistent and has a tendency to go like super inaccurate and get in his own head and stuff like that. But I think right now I'll take the Herbert momentum, and I will definitely take against the lack of Jaguars momentum. And I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers in this one, especially since they're playing at home, which for them.
Yeah, I want to go with Justin Herbert too, and the Chargers. I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I think that they got a rookie running back in Austin Eckler. I really like Eckler. I think they have a lot of potential. I think that him and Herbert are going to grow together. Yep. I think this is a stepping stone game, and I think Minshew is going to take a step back again. Give me the Chargers. Real quick side thought, by the way. I just want to ask you a question about the Giants. I don't want to Daniel Jones, right? What if Daniel Jones is a playoff quarterback?
Well, you mean
get rid of Daniel Jones?
The Giants make the playoffs?
Yeah, look, if they make the playoffs, they get home field advantage.
Dude, what a track!
They win that division.
Do you remember
they
back
get
in
home field advantage.
Do you remember back in 2010 when
Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, when the Seahawks made the playoffs because they won the NFC West at 7-9. Back when the NFC West was trash. Then they actually won their first playoff game against the New Orleans Saints because they were hosting it in Seattle because they had that advantage. And there was that that was when Beastquake happened, and Marshawn Lynch just went nuts on the Saints. And I swear to God, because I seriously think we could see a 6-10 division winner in the NFC East this year, if not even maybe a 5-11 division winner. And if that happens and they win a game, I think we're talking division realignment pretty soon, because that's just ridiculous. You're going to trigger something.
I think. Well, yeah. Well, I think Daniel. I think I'm very patient with these young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones haven't really played. I mean, he haven't played. He haven't played 16 games yet, have you?
No.
So I mean, like a quarterback that haven't played 16 games, I don't think you can evaluate a quarterback after under 30 games, especially a young one. So I think that he still have a lot of time to grow. So who knows how Daniel Jones? I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to be the next coming. I'm just saying,
well,
keep an eye on him.
He
athletic.
didn't play 16 games last year. He has played, I think.
I'm sorry.
He's played 19 total games in his career, but he only started 12 games last year.
Okay, there you go. He haven't started 16 games yet.
Yeah. So next game we got the Packers and Texans. To me, this one's once again really obvious. Now the Packers did just get demolished by the Buccaneers last week. That notwithstanding, the Texans are not the Buccaneers. We got Aaron Rodgers has been having a really good season so far. That Green Bay defense didn't look great against the Buccaneers, but other than that, they've looked not top of the line, but they look pretty good. To me, this one is going to be the Packers. I don't see the Texans having much of any chance right now. Give me the Packers.
We talk about teams bouncing back and going with the Packers. Houston looks like they're still trying to find themselves after losing their coach, after the coach firing pretty much. And there's just a lot of drama going with that franchise right now. I don't think that they have the willpower or the firepower to beat Packers. Give me Packers.
I don't think
Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So next we got the Patriots and the 49ers. I'll let you go first on this one.
I want 49ers. I think the 49ers are starting to get there. They're starting to get some momentum back. They're starting to get some confidence back. And not only that, San Francisco needs this game more than New England. I mean, I know New England are 2-3 right now. I know New England's 2-3 right now, but I don't think it's going to be. I think they might win a couple games down the road, but I don't think it's going to be this game. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's back, so he looks good. Give me the 49ers all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you. For the first time this week here, Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think moves the needle very much for me for the 49ers. Obviously, because, the 49ers did better than expected while he was out. You got the Patriots who are coming off some disappointing games, arguably partially due to the whole, COVID problem, I think. And then I'm going to disagree with you again. I think the Patriots desperately need this game because they're 2-3 right now. They've got they're behind the Bills in the standings, and they're behind the Dolphins, who are on bye this week. So right now, the Patriots are the number 3 team in the AFC East, and
wow,
that just to me it seems unsustainable when you got Bill Belichick as your coach. I think this we're going to have a Sunday night game, and I think the Patriots are going to be way more prepared than the 49ers for this particular game. Personally, give me the Patriots. But since on this screen here, we're doing your predictions, I'm going to go ahead over here, and I'm going to click on the 49ers because that's what you picked. But me personally, I'm picking the Patriots. But you're not. So 49ers for you, Patriots for me. So next we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also on Sunday night. Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Las Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Raiders, which to me still feels kind of weird to say, but honestly, it's got kind of a nice ring to it. It hasn't been like with a lot of these other relocations where it just like it sounds to me. It still sounds wrong to say like Los Angeles Chargers. It doesn't feel right, even though they've been there for a little while now. And even the Rams, I grew up with the St. Louis Rams. And I know the Los Angeles Rams were a team for a very long time, but it still feels kind of weird to me to say Los Angeles Rams, but it does not feel weird at all to say Las Vegas Raiders, at least as far as like how the name rolls off the tongue. It feels right for them. Las Vegas seems like the place for them. However, Tom Brady's on a roll. That Buccaneers defense is on a roll. And I don't see the Raiders coming off of a bye week, even though they had a big game beating the Chiefs the last time they played, but coming off a bye week and the Buccaneers having the kind of momentum they have, I'm going to pick the Buccaneers here. What do you think?
Give me the Buccaneers. Don't overthink it. Give me the Buccaneers. Nobody knows how to utilize those weapons better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's doing a great job at it. Oh my God. I think that we might have had a benching in Philadelphia.
What?
No, wait, hold up. No. Nope, I jumped the gun. No, yep, I am correct. Hurts in that quarterback.
In a quarterback? Yes. Well,
it's a temporary thing. Is he in there? Yes, I think they realized that Carson Wentz is finally trash.
Yeah, I don't.
He looks fast. Ooh, he just got banged. He just got tapped.
No, that was crazy. Because what Philadelphia's been doing this year with Jalen Hurts is they've been bringing him in every once in a while to do like wildcat formations and stuff like that. So I think you're going to see. Let's go back.
I got excited. I jumped the gun. I got too excited too early.
Yeah, I don't think as much as Carson Wentz I think deserves to be benched. I don't think he is.
And don't bench Carson Wentz until after y'all play the Browns Eagles.
I would say
the Browns played them.
Apparently, we couldn't even beat Carson Wentz. We got half a win out of it. What a joke. Okay, so anyway,
let me stop talking about this game. Sorry.
We got the Lions and Falcons next. Two not so great teams, but the Lions are kind of on a momentum roll right now, if you could really even call it that. But what do you think, Thomas?
Ooh, dang, these two bad teams again. Dang, it's like, all right, give me the Lions this game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with the Lions.
Yep.
I just think that there's something off about Atlanta this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with Atlanta this year, but give me the Lions. Give me Matthew Stafford, and Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
For me, are pretty much like. I think Matt Ryan is better than Matthew Stafford, but not by that much for real, honestly. So give me the Lions.
I'm not sure if I would agree with that. I think Matt Stafford doesn't get enough credit for how actually pretty good of a quarterback he is. But the Lions are such trash around him. But I agree. I think the Lions are the hot team right now out of the two teams because they've been doing pretty decent in recent weeks. And I think the Falcons, especially that defense, is just an absolute train wreck. They fired Dan Quinn, but it didn't seem to have the same effect for them that it had for the Texans when the Texans fired Bill O'Brien, and then they came out the next week and did pretty decently. But I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think the Lions are the hot team. I have no faith in the Falcons right now. They look awful. They look like you questioned. I think what was it? Was it our last episode or the episode before? I think it was the last episode after Browns lost to the Steelers pretty badly, and you had that whole rant about do y'all got heart? Well. I don't care as much about the Falcons as you care about the Browns, obviously, but I have the same question. Do they have any heart? I don't. I haven't seen it. They
don't get desire to wake up off the bed, man. That team is dead.
They look like they're going through the motions.
Who they blow that league to? Who they blow that league to?
Cowboys.
Yeah, they blew that league to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys ended their whole career. Like the Cowboys, bro.
Yeah, the Cowboys aren't doing any good either. That was back before Dak got hurt, though. So
but Dak Prescott ended the entire Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like that was devastating. Shoot, first time Brady ended y'all. Now Dak Prescott came in and finished the deal. Y'all dead.
So speaking of the Cowboys, we've got the battle of the backup quarterbacks. My boy Andy Dalton, who made me look like an idiot, going up against a fellow Kyle in Kyle Allen. Yeah, I think Alex Smith should be starting, but I guess Ron Rivera likes Ron Rivera is more familiar with Kyle Allen, and I think Kyle Allen's a little bit more familiar with that Ron Rivera system. I think that's why Kyle Allen's starting, not necessarily because he's better than Alex Smith, but because Alex Smith isn't so much better than Kyle Allen that it makes up for the fact that he doesn't know the system nearly as well. I think we could see Alex Smith starting eventually because Kyle Allen moves the needle exactly zero. Um, but I think for now you're going to see Kyle Allen rolling until Alex Smith is really truly back to form. So Cowboys traveling to Washington to play the football team. Who do you got, Thomas?
Cowboys. I mean,
Cowboys.
it's just I think I think that Andy Dalton, his first game, first in new system. Mike McCarthy, you're just proving that you're trash. You just had a lot of talent. So Mike McCarthy, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that about you yet, but Mike McCarthy doesn't look like a good match with Dallas. But at the same time, I just don't feel like Andy Dalton had a chance to really feel what it's like to be a Cowboy yet. And
Yeah.
I think that he's probably learning that offense and learning those receivers. And I just think that he's just put in a hard situation. But I think that after having a week to digest who he's playing with, to get in rhythm with receivers, I think this is going to be a bounce back game for him.
Well, you know what? I think Andy Dalton knows exactly what it's like to be a Cowboy. You know why? Because I apologize, Andy. I love you. I know you're not watching, but if by some miracle you are watching, I'm sorry. I love you, but you are mediocre, just like the Cowboys. And this is not a 4:25 p.m. game, which is when Andy Dalton statistically always has his best games. So I'm going to go with the Washington football team here. I think Ron Rivera. I don't think the team has hardly any talent, but I think Ron Rivera is pretty good at galvanizing them into playing as good as they can. And I think that Cowboys defense is trash. I don't think Andy Dalton does enough for that team to get them any farther over where they're already at. For me, I'm going to disagree with you, Thomas. I am going to go with the Washington football team. But
all right.
on the screen earlier, we are. So I am coming over here and marking the Cowboys because that's who Thomas picked. But I did not. I picked the Washington football team. But it's good to disagree because otherwise, what would be the point of this? Otherwise, we could just be like, yeah, I agree. You're so right, man. And then that would just be boring.
That would be boring.
Yeah. So next we got the Panthers and the Saints. We got the old man, the future Hall of Famer Drew Brees going up against Teddy Bridgewater, who has miraculously resurrected his career as a starter in the NFL after a devastating leg injury that kind of reminds me of Alex Smith. The difference being Alex Smith was much older when it happened. Not that it wasn't devastating for Teddy Bridgewater because he was supposed to be like the next big thing, and then that didn't happen, and it took him a while to get back to form. But he's a starter now, and he's going up against his old team in the New Orleans Saints. Who do you got, Thomas?
Robbie Anderson looked good, has been looking really good. Mike Davis has been doing a great job of filling in for the injured Christian McCaffrey. Teddy Bridgewater has been doing great with this system that Matt Rule, the Baylor coach, has brought in. There's so much to like about this Panther team, but the Saints, man, they started off with a kind of like a slow start, and week 5 is when the great teams start to rise to the top. These week 5 is when the great teams who started off slow start to get back in rhythm. I still think the Saints are a great team. I still think the Saints are an elite team. I think the Saints are one of the best teams in the league. I think that the Panthers are going to put up a good fight. I think it's going to be a very close game. But I'm going to go with the Saints.
That's fair. I definitely think the Saints are definitely a good team. But at the end of the day, I really like what Matt Rule's building over there in Carolina. Like you said, I think some of those weapons, Christian McCaffrey Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. I think Teddy Bridgewater's playing well. I know I picked them last week to beat the Bears, and once again, the Bears just I don't know how they're doing it, but they're winning. They're doing it. But I don't know. I got this good feeling about the Panthers. I'm going to pick them again this week.
I do too, but I just don't want to see. I just have trouble betting against Drew Brees. That's my problem.
Fair enough.
I just have trouble betting against Drew
Well,
Brees.
you see, I did for the most part this year, but Drew Brees just hasn't been Drew Brees this year, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the same level of just they're going to win because they got Drew Brees. This is not a 13-2. This is not a 13-3 team because Drew Brees is there. This is a team that is probably going to make the playoffs, but I don't think that they're going to be competing too hard with the Buccaneers for the division title. Like I said, give me the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to use this to really kind of catapult themselves into that playoff conversation after a lot of people counted them out of it early on. But like I said, give me Matt Rule and give me Teddy Bridgewater. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks going to the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday night, maybe. It's definitely a Sunday afternoon or night game, one of the two. So you got Russell Wilson playing out of his mind. Probably the league MVP right now. If the season ended now, my vote would go to Russell Wilson. And then you got Kyler Murray, who is not been leading the Cardinals to quite as much success as some speculated, but leading them to much more success than they had last year. They're 4-2 right now. They're second in the NFC West. And the Cardinals look like a team that could beat anybody. They aren't going to beat everybody, but they could beat anybody. But for me, Russell Wilson's the MVP. And I think most of my analysis just kind of ends there. Give me Russ. Seahawks are going to win this game.
Give me the Seahawks, man. Give me the Seahawks all the way. That defense, how confident they've been. Like you said, Russell Wilson's MVP, Antonio Brown's knocking on the door. Man, the Seahawks, that's a scary team. That is a very scary team. And that's the only team that I think that could legitimately beat. Ooh. But yeah, give me the Seahawks. But also, keep an eye on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray last game, even though they won big last game, Kyler Murray only went 9 for 24. You complete 9 passes. 2 of them were touchdowns, but you complete 9 passes against Dallas. So yeah. Give me the Seahawks.
You know what? Actually, as you're talking about Kyler Murray just now, I think I'm actually going to switch my pick. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. It was kind of a lazy analysis I just did about the Seahawks just now, and the more I think about it, the more I think the Cardinals are. I don't know if the Cardinals are necessarily the better team than the Seahawks right now, but I do think Kyler Murray and that team as a whole, I think they're playing well enough that I think they could probably split with Seattle this year. And I think if they're going to split any game, it's going to be the one they play at home in their own stadium. So I'm going to change my pick. I think give me the Cardinals this week over the Seahawks.
I will say this about Kyler Murray though. Kyler Murray is a big play artist. Like he is great at making big plays.
Right.
He's he's fast. He's quick. You don't think he is as fast as he is, but that little dude's fast. And
well,
he got a little bit of an arm
so much.
He got an arm on him, man. That bomb to Christian Kirk, woo, man, he got a little bit of arm. He's electric. He surprises you, and he finds ways to win games.
And that right there is why they gave up on Josh Rosen after 1 year.
Yeah,
because they had the opportunity to go get Kyler Murray.
Yeah, when you see, thing is that when you look at there's some players that have the ability just to find a way to win. Players who have the ability to find a way, like you might look at the stats, you'd be like, all right, that's one thing, but you watch them in the game, they make the right plays to win games. That's what Kyler Murray does. Kyler Murray always finds ways to win games.
Are you changing your pick as well?
I am not changing my pick. I'm sorry,
so
I misspoke.
You're still picking the Seahawks.
I meant to say I like Kyler Murray.
Okay.
I like him a lot. I have a lot of confidence in him, but I'm going with the Seahawks.
All right.
Give me Russell Wilson.
Our last game of the week is going to be Monday night, and it's going to be the Chicago Bears, the much better than I think anybody expected Chicago Bears. Definitely much better than I expected. They are still absolutely dominating. I believe the record is 5-1 right now, and I really don't think it should be. They should have lost a lot of those games, but they didn't. They won, and they're 5-1. So they are going to Los Angeles to play the Los Angeles Rams, who are currently 4-2. And Aaron Donald's a beast, but I think, perhaps the Rams might be kind of like the Bears. The Rams might be a little over – their record might be a little bit better than the actual quality of their actual team is. I think that's mostly just Aaron Donald playing as well as he's playing and Sean McVay coaching up a storm. That said, out of these two teams, give me Aaron Donald terrorizing Nick Foles. I'm going to go with the LA Rams getting the win at home over the Bears and catapulting themselves to 5-2. How about you?
Bears have been playing very well. The Bears have been playing very well. You cannot dispute how well the Bears have been playing. And I'm very tempted on picking the Bears, but you know what? I want to agree with you. I want to go with the Rams this game. I just think that they might be playing over their heads a little bit. But I think Jared Goff's due for a big game. So give me the Rams.
All right. All right. So then we got that gives us 2 games left because we save the AFC North games for the end, but there's only 2 AFC North games this year because this week. There's only 2 AFC North games this week because the Ravens are on bye and the Bengals and Browns play each other. So let's start with the game that this whole episode is not dedicated to, and the Steelers and Titans. I got to be honest. The Steelers, I have to give them credit. They are still undefeated despite despite, in my opinion, not really playing like an undefeated team the first, however many weeks, the first 4 weeks playing against, I feel, not so great teams and not really performing that great against them, playing well defensively, but just, really kind of barely finishing games and give them credit for winning. But I felt that they were not as good as their record indicated. But then they put a hurting on the Browns last week, and I still think the Browns are a good football team. So, I got to give them credit. But, this is correct me if I'm wrong. I believe these are definitely the last 2 undefeated teams left in the AFC, and 2 of the 3 undefeated teams left in the NFL. The other being the Seattle Seahawks. So yeah, you got 2 undefeated teams. I think my biggest thing about this is, the Tennessee Titans, they don't feel like they should be as good as they are because, the Titans went like 9-7 last year and they snuck into the playoffs. But in reality, they were 9-7 because they were terrible when Marcus Mariota was quarterback. Since Ryan Tannehill has taken over, the Titans are 14-4, and that's including the playoffs. The Titans are 14-4, and Ryan Tannehill has statistically been comparable to Patrick Mahomes. Now, is he that talented? No, probably not.
Nope.
But statistically, he's comparable. So I think the Titans' offense, especially with Derrick Henry playing just unfairly. If somebody was playing against me like that in Madden, I'd be like, you got to be cheating somehow. Derrick Henry is playing in another universe right now, and that Titans offense is just humming. And the Steelers have a really good defense, but I think this is really going to be the test for their defense to see, like, can they slow – if they can slow down the Titans' offense, I don't know who's going to top the Steelers. I think the Titans' defense is good enough to slow down the Steelers' offense. So, personally, give me the Titans.
The Steelers' strength is the Titans' strength. So one got to give. Man, Derrick Henry, bro. Derrick Henry, like you said, he's playing on another level. Derrick Henry might be the best running back in the NFL right now. And I hate to say that because I'm a Nick Chubb fan. But when you talk about pure running, it's just physically, he gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive just to watch him just get better and better. And he is just – players are just bouncing off of him. He's just so big. He's a bully, man. But the Steelers' defense is tough. This is a tough game for me to pick. It's a very tough game for me to pick. I want to go Titans so bad. I want to pick the Titans so bad because that Steelers' defense is nasty, though. They're quick. They're fast. But, you know what? I'm going to go with the Titans. Give me the Titans. Give me the Titans. Yes, give me the Titans. Because, Devin Bush is hurt. They got some injuries.
Yeah.
Give me the Titans.
I think personally, I think that's the right pick. Even I wasn't even thinking about Devin Bush, but
help me out, Derrick Henry.
I think Derrick Henry is going to make a lot of those Steelers players look silly, and I think not having Devin Bush hurts, but it really only just confirms what I already thought was going to happen. So we're both picking the Titans, and then we get to the final and most important game to either me and Thomas this whole week, and probably the most important game of the year to this podcast, because it is the only one of the Bengals-Browns games that we actually got to cover for this podcast, because the other one happened before we started doing this. So this is the Bengals and Browns, and you can probably guess who we're going to pick this week, because I'm going to pick the Bengals, and I'll tell you why. Like I said earlier, I think Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow has that fire in him. I think the Bengals have been slowly, steadily improving every game. The way we played against the Colts last week, it was kind of the way it ended was definitely disappointing. But for the most part, through most of that game, we were winning, and we really should have pulled that off. We had the defense has been playing a lot better than expected, and I think there's going to be a lot of potential there to really get a lot of mistakes out of Baker Mayfield as long as we can contain Kareem Hunt, which we didn't do that great against the Browns running game in the last game. But there's no Nick Chubb this time. We just got to focus on one guy. And then as far as Baker Mayfield, it's just about getting him back in his own head, which doesn't seem that difficult to do right now. And then on offense, things are starting to click in certain spots. We didn't do too bad on offensive line play last time we played the Browns. So I don't know. I think it could be a close game, but I think at the end of the day, this is going to be one of those games that's going to start being the turning point for the Bengals to start going on a run and start kind of proving that, the system that we're currently putting in place has payoff. So I'm picking the Bengals. I assume you're picking the Browns. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Browns, like I said, it's all about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, I need you to have a big game this week. You let the Steelers make you their bitch. You and Baker Mayfield. Don't be the bitch of the Bengals. Don't do it, y'all. Don't become the Bengals bitch.
You're about to be.
I'm joking. Give me the Browns. I think Baker is going to have a bounce-back game. He has to have a bounce-back game. He has too much pressure. Baker Mayfield does a great job of responding to pressure. Give me the Browns.
All right. So, as we found out last week, Thomas is much, what at least was last week, much better at predicting these games than I was. I did a pretty bad job. And I think I
wouldn't say you did a bad job. You did a worse job than I did.
Well, so you picked 9 games right. I picked 5 games right. So I think I forget, but I'm pretty sure our actual records last week were the polar reverse of each other. You picked 4 more games right than I did, and it was basically all of the games that we disagreed on.
Yep.
But I think we've got quite a few games that we disagree on this week, and I think I'm going to turn it around this week. But we shall see. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to share my screen again. You're going to see, so I've got both mine and Thomas's predictions up on this other screen. And as you can see, these are Thomas's picks right here. He's got Browns, Bills, Titans, Chiefs, Chargers, Packers, 49ers, Buccaneers, Giants, Lions, Cowboys, Saints, Seahawks, Rams winning. And then in this other tab, got my picks. Bengals, Bills, Titans, Chiefs, Chargers, Packers, Patriots, Buccaneers, Giants, Lions, football team, Panthers, Cardinals, Rams. So you can see there are some similarities, but definitely not the same. So me and Thomas are either going to be even further divided than we were before by him just absolutely destroying me this season, or I'm going to catch up this week. One of those two things is going to happen. I'm definitely hoping for the latter. But so anyway, that's we'll go back and review those predictions in the in Thursday's recap episode and see how we're doing from then. But I think let's go ahead and get on to our last little bit and talk about the rest of the AFC North. I don't know if you saw this, Thomas, but just before we started recording this podcast, the Ravens actually traded for Yannick Ngakoue. So it looks like, yeah, I know. They sent I believe, a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick to the Vikings, which the Vikings paid a 2nd and a 5th for him. So they basically lost 1 round of draft positioning on the whole. But it looks like Saxonville has come to Baltimore, so I guess we'll call that Saxonmore or something maybe less dumb than that. But yeah, the Ravens, the rich get richer, and the Ravens pass rush is going to be much scarier with Yannick Ngakoue. They're reuniting with Calais Campbell, and that's going to be fun. But they are number 3, or no, they're number 2 in the division right now. I believe.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're number 2 in the division right now. Only 1 game ahead of the Browns, though, and that 1 game, could definitely be attributed to that game where they smacked y'all in the first week. But
we still play both the Ravens and the Steelers this year, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you definitely got a path to go somewhere. But if the Browns win this week, that puts them at 5-2, and the Ravens will remain at 5-1 because they don't play this week. And the Browns will basically be a half game behind the Ravens, with the Ravens currently holding the tiebreaker. But the Browns could right that ship later on in the year, I believe, in week, is it 16 that y'all play the Ravens?
Yeah. It's late. It's a Monday night game, though.
Y'all play the Jets.
That's going to be fun.
16. Week 4.
It's week.
The Ravens come to Cleveland and play the Browns on Monday night. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. If the Browns, it'll be an interesting game to watch anyway. But if the Browns beat the Bengals this week, it'll definitely be an interesting game to watch because the Browns and the Ravens will be neck and neck for that number 2 spot. And also, if you guys win this week, if you guys win or lose this week, you guys are going to have a playoff. You guys are going to be in position for a playoff spot. Right now, you guys are if the playoff started today, you guys would be the number 6 seed with a 4-2 record. If you lost, you would go down to the number 7 seed with a 4-3 record. If you win, you'll keep that seed though with a 5-2 record.
Well, for me, it's a must-win for the Browns, but
yeah,
I just think that they're going to panic. They're going to panic about Baker Mayfield. They might do something to make the quarterback situation worse.
Right,
but that's not here or there.
But Ravens don't really play this week, so I kind of wanted to get that little bit out about them. So we definitely, they're an AFC North rival. They definitely we got to talk about them when we're talking about the AFC North. So we did that part. But the Steelers do play this week. They were supposed to be on a bye this week, But, Titans went and got COVID and messed up the whole schedule. So the Steelers ended up having their bye week earlier in the year. And now they play the Titans in the rescheduled game. Like I said, both teams undefeated, both teams looking to stay undefeated, and both teams looking to prove that they are for real. That Titans offense looks for real, while that Steelers defense looks for real. So it's just which one's going to give? Like I said before, Titans are 14-4 since Tannehill showed up. So that's pretty hard to argue with.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. As much as I hate to say fun games, the Steelers, they're gonna be a fun game to watch. Hopefully, the Steelers lose. But I think the Steelers got the edge right now to win the division. Unfortunately,
we always want the Pittsburgh Steelers to lose on the Battle of Ohio podcast because the Steelers suck.
Okay, you know what? We still got a chance to win the division. Yeah. I need the Titans to win, and we got to beat the Steelers in Week 17.
Yeah.
We also got to win every single other game. So,
well, you said earlier that this week is a must-win for you guys, and I mean it's a must-win for us. It's division games are always hugely important, but you get 16 games in an NFL season. I think what are we bumping up to 17 next year?
Yep.
But you only get so many games in the NFL season. The way I see it, every game is a must-win, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But,
that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, I think the Ravens and Steelers and Browns are all kind of like jumbled in this mess at the top, and my Bengals are very much in a rebuilding year.
Don't worry. Next year, this division is gonna look like NFC East. Don't worry.
Well, once the Bengals get going, I think the AFC North is going to look like the best division in football.
No doubt. No doubt.
Get it going this week. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody, for the 6th episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, and the first episode where we actually get to talk about the Bengals and Browns playing each other head to head. I'd love for you guys to comment down below and let us know what you think about the podcast. If you think that we should talk about certain things more, or if you like any ideas you got. We're just trying to make this podcast better. We're trying to make this something that not only is fun for us to make, but is fun for you guys to listen to. And tell you what, actually, if you come up with an idea and we really like it and we use it, we'll give you a shout out on the episode. So anyway, you can find this episode. You can find this podcast on YouTube at the Battle of Ohio podcast, and I'm looking into getting us an RSS feed here soon so that we can get on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Don't have that right now, but hopefully it'll be up there soon. So you can find me on social media on Facebook.com/ThePhelps, at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, and where can they find you, Thomas?
You can find me at tstar94. You can find me at you can also find me at the Blowdown page, YouTube and Instagram. We make cool videos and all that great stuff. Check us out.
Yeah. I personally actually really like your channel. I'm thinking about eventually getting into a YouTube channel myself, but I gotta say, if you guys are looking for some fun roller coaster videos, and I'm a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I think that is hilarious. If you guys like that, go hit up the Blowdown page. It's a good channel. Anyway, everybody, thanks for listening to the Battle of Ohio podcast, and we will see you after the games happen so that we can recap everything. And go Bengals. Hoo-day.
Go Browns. Go Browns. I cannot wait to go to that game.